Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to my 47th Flosstube episode. If you're new here, welcome. This is a channel that is mostly about cross stitch. However, I do share my other hobbies here when I have worked on them, and I do have a little bit of extracurricular crafting to share with you today. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and spending time with me. I appreciate all of you even more than you know. Today is Sunday. It is December the 31st, New Year's Eve, and I hope that everybody, whether you celebrate something in December or not, had a great month. We made it through somehow. Again, we just keep doing that, I guess. Work leading up to my winter break was very, very stressful. And I have been very appreciative for the time off, even though it was not necessarily the winter break I thought that I was going to have. There's been a lot of just illness, so that's been kind of crappy, but at least we didn't have to be at work for it, so that was good. And like I said, today's New Year's. We don't have any plans. Erin and I worked in the service industry for many, many years, cooking for other people on New Year's Eve, and now we don't like to do anything at all. My town doesn't do a ball drop. My town is known for their duck decoys, and they drop a decoy at New Year's, but we don't go down in town for that. Actually, where my house is located, I can walk right outside of my door here and watch all the fireworks, and that's plenty good for me. So, like I said, I hope everybody's been well. We are on the mend here, so that's great. Erin is upstairs with Miss Cora. We'll see how long she stays up there with him. Mittens is roaming around. She's been very interested in my setup here today. Things are obviously a little bit different today. I kind of moved you around so we could have the tree in the background before that gets taken down later today. And I've also got a lot of stuff on the other half of the table because I am all pretty much set up to film my whip parade for the year after I'm done here. So I've got a lot to share with you, and I guess we should probably get started. Let's see, so I found a couple more Christmassy winter finishes that I forgot to share in my last video, so I brought those to show you. When I was putting away my holiday decorations yesterday, I've made a bunch of primitive snowmen and a few angels over a couple years ago. I made them. I was really into that, and so I pulled those over here to share with you as well. I've got some fully finished objects, some almost fully finished objects. I've got whips, I've got new starts and finishes, and I think maybe one thing that came in the mail, one thing that came in an email, and I did make a little trip to the Stitching Post in Catonsville, Maryland earlier in the month, and so I've got a couple things from that shop to share with you as well. So I think we should probably get started, and let's see. All right, so a few more Christmassy finishes, cross-stitch finishes that I did not pull out in my last video. This is from Collection Tralala. This is one of the Bonhomme de Neige, little snow ladies. This is the winter one. I finished all four and fully finished them earlier this year. My mom loved snowmen, and I have many of her snowmen that I put out at for Christmas, and I've been making some of my own, kind of in my own style as well. So here's one of them. I love her. She's so cute. Her head's a little wrinkly, but that's okay. She's sweet. So there was that one. This one was a heartstring samplery chart. It was like 4 different charts that you could stitch on T-balls, and this is the one that I completed. It's all, the chain's all tangled up, but that's okay. So here's this one. When I first started it, I accidentally started it over 1. I was like, this is really, really hard. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be. And then I realized that I screwed that up. So I restarted it over 2. Oops. And that's the finish of that one. This is full of orts, old ratty threads, and it's a little dusty too. That's okay. I did start a second one of these. I have the T-balls for all 4 of them. And I made a mistake on the next one that I started, and I was so frustrated, and I was just over it at that point, so I never finished it, but that's okay. I've got one done. I don't know that I would continue with that series, but so there's that one. And then here's one that I stitched and finished last year. This is Blackbird Designs Into All a Good Night. And this one, I did change the words to "And We Bid You Good Night." That is a hymn. I don't know. Make something a hymn. It's fine. Song lyrics and my dad's initials down at the bottom. Stitched this in memory of him, and I love it. So those are a few more past Christmas finishes. And then, like I said, I did bring some of my little primitive babies over here to share with you. A couple years ago, I got really into making them. Like for Halloween, I made a bunch of black cats. I think you can see, right? Oop, can I point? There, right? There's one of them. They're kind of all over the house. And then I made a bunch of snowmen and a few angels for the winter time. And actually, the only thing that I bought this year on Black Friday was some more patterns to make some more of these little primitive dolls, I guess. Stuff. I don't want to call them stuffed animals. I don't know. Anyways, I think most of these are by Chestnut Junction. I'm not sure. If anybody's interested, I will put links to the Etsy shops if I can find them down below. So this was the first one I believe that I made, and he was like my gateway drug into the snowmen. I loved him so much. They're made out of muslin and a little accoutrement and sticks from my yard. So here's the first one. Love him. Let's see, and then I have a set of twins here. These are the twins. This little guy, he has a candy cane, and he had a little bundle of twigs that he carries, his little scarf. And he's very serious, obviously. They're all very serious. These are very serious snowmen. And this is his brother. I don't know why I've decided they're boys. These could be ladies, for sure. They could be anything. They're just snow people. So this one's got a little broom. This next one, I lost his star. I need to make a new star for him. This fat little chap. Love his hat. And he has a stick here, a little wooden bead buttons, and he has a stick that normally has a star on the end of it, but he needs a new star, so I need to fix that for him for next year. He's cute. And this pattern also came with a little mousey that sits with him. And here's my little mousey. And he's got nails for legs and arms and a stick for a tail. He's cute. These were made with like batting as for the outside to make them a little bit fuzzy that you painted. I've made 2 angels. There's this one. She's creepy and I like her a lot. I'm not a Christian, but I do like weird angels. So there she is. And then this other angel, just maybe a little more creepy. She sits on top of the china cabinet over there, and she just watches us all the time. So there she is. Everybody in the house is a little scared of her. She's something. And then my very, very favorite one, this snowman stays out all year because he's like the big daddy of snowmen. Here he is. Bring him in a little bit closer. He's got his hat and his little nose and his little stick arms, and I made him this coat. he has these mittens and little burlap shoes. I love him. I was showing one of my coworkers a picture of him the other day, and she was like, oh, that is definitely cursed. But you know what? We all have to get through the holidays some way, and creepy snowman is the way I like to get through. So, all right, I'm gonna take care of moving all of these out of the way, and then I'm gonna reset and I'll show you what I've been working on this month. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you again for bearing with me while I shared those. They are a lot of fun to make, but they're not an insignificant amount of work, so I'm really proud of them. And thank you guys for indulging me a little bit. Okay, so what do I have to share with you? What has been happening in December? First, I'm going to share with you a couple of fully finished objects. This pattern I showed last time, I was working on this for Quentin for Christmas. This was a little Garfield kit that I found. It was from like 1978, and I finished stitching it and I put it in this little blue frame. I got him some of, Quentin loves Garfield, and so I got him like 5 of the original, like the first 5 books, and I finished this for him too. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is one of those little mini frames from Michael's. That fit perfectly in there. So I finished that up. That was stitched on a piece of 32 count star sapphire linen with all of the threads from the kit. And then you may remember this. I think I did this in October. Maybe. I did it this year for sure. But I also stitched this for Quentin. Trick or Treat is one of his favorite movies. So I stitched this for him. This is a witchy stitcher pattern, and I used all of the called for DMC flosses on a piece of, I think this was 32 count black Lugana maybe, and I just finished it in this little hoop with some wool felt on the back, and I gave that to him for Christmas too. So yep, I'm really happy with how both of those turned out. Okay, see, I'm feeling a little out of sorts because my setup is a little bit different, so, okay. All right, last we spoke, I talked to you, I feel like in great depth, about Ellen Harrison, 1889 from Needlework Press, which is this chart here. I had quite the saga with trying to start this pattern. I had started it over and over and over again, and I finally settled back on the original fabric that I had chosen, and I was working in this first page right here, and I had not quite finished it up, so I did finish that page up before I moved on to anything else. So here's this pattern. I love it. Back again, I normally keep a chair like right here and right here to put my things on as I talk about them, and I realized I forgot to move my chair, so I had to fix that real quick. Anyways, Ellen Harrison lives in this beautiful bag from Erin. Erin Makes. I love this bag. I am stitching it using the color and cotton conversion that was done by Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions. These beautiful colors. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count overcast, also by Color and Cotton. And here's my page finish. The lighting is definitely a little weird. There are sliding glass doors right here and a window here, so it's a little bit blown out, but I am super happy with how this looks, how this is turning out. Got to start on that house, so very good. I'll be looking forward to getting back to that. I shared in my last video that I only had a few kind of concrete plans for the month of December after not doing hardly anything that I thought I was going to do in November. I didn't want to like stress myself out or put any extra pressure on myself, so I had only put out a few things that I was absolutely sure that I was going to be working on, and this was one of them. And this is Holly Bird Ornament by Stitches by Ethel. Ethel is a sweet friend of mine, and I absolutely love this pattern. She's got so many cute patterns. I'll be sure to link her Etsy store below. So there's that. I stitched this on a piece of 36 count Barb's Blend by R&R Reproductions using most of the called for DMC. I did, I think, switch out the green, and I switched out the white to a diamond. So there's my finish. Isn't it cute? I don't think you're going to be able to, maybe you can see the sparkle. It's the silver diamond that I used for the snowflakes, and I'm super happy with how this turned out. So that'll be need to be finished into maybe a little pillow or a little ornament for next year. She's so cute. What a great stitch, and her charting is big, so this is a small chart and it's like big in the back, nice and easy to read. Highly recommend Ethel and her patterns. The next thing that I worked on was Ellen Ford's work. This is by Mary Wynn Farm. And this pattern calls for Gentle Arts Simply Wool. It does say that you can definitely use the Gentle Arts Over Dyed equivalent if you don't want to use the wool, but I did want to try to use the wool. This is this pattern is not so big. It's 93 by 133, so I thought this was a great chance to try it out, and I have to say I love it. So here's the pattern. It's living in this little doggy bag. It doesn't really necessarily go, but it said the colors in here were very kind of Christmassy to me, which made me want to start it in December. I'm stitching it on a piece of 32 count Days Gone by Silk Weaver. And these are the called for wools. I did end up making one substitution. It does call for driftwood, which is like grays and blues and tans almost, but it just read like a little too blue, more blue than I wanted it to read. So I did switch that out for barn gray, and that looked a little bit more like the picture. And my pile is falling. Here's where I got to. So I went ahead and put the border in first because I do have a couple different dye lots of the flosses, so I wanted to make sure that my border would all match. So I went ahead and I did that first, and then I worked down, there's the skinny page, and so I went ahead and worked down that little skinny page. And I love these wools. This is so nice to work with. It's just really pleasurable. One strand on 32 count, looks nice and full. I will definitely be working with these more in the future. So that was a lot of fun. That one was pretty hard to put down, but there were some other things that kind of caught my eye that I wanted to be working. The next thing that I worked on came from this 2004 Christmas Ornaments issue of Just Cross Stitch. And I stitched the Blackbird Designs Christmas Ornament 2004. That's what it's called. Just like this. And when I went to the stitching post with my friend Suzanne, I bought the called for colors and some linen to stitch this on. There's quite a few things in this book that I actually like. It lived in this sweet little tomato bag. And here are the colors. These are all of the called for colors except for Rhubarb, which I bought, and I'm looking at it and I know what I'm stitching, and I know that it's pink when I see it. I've got it over there, I'll show you in a little bit. And I bought it anyways, but I didn't end up using it. I subbed out this Sister Scarlet for the red. And while I was stitching this, it was like one of those great weekends in early December, and there was so much good Flosstube that was happening. So as I watched a video, I took a little progress pic, and I'll show you how that went. So Misfit Stitches, Kindred Stitcher, Olivia B, the New Hampshire Stitcher, Cross Stitch Kate, Drewlicious. They were doing Vlogmas, so this was Vlogmas days 3 through 10. Kathleen's Trodden Trail, and the Spectrum Stitcher, who was back after a long hiatus, and I was so happy to see one of my very favorite Flosstubes. So that's what I watched while I stitched this, and here is my finish. This is on a piece of 32 count natural opal. See the sparkle? It's very sparkly. It's very pretty. And I love it. Love, love, love how that turned out. So that was a lot of fun. I'll have to maybe, if I think about it, do that again with the progress pictures. That was a lot of fun. All right. So I also had a big bag full of possible things that I could maybe start throughout the month, things that I could take in my car for my lunchtime stitching, which I didn't always have this month, just it was wild at work. And as you can see, this is still a mess of DMC and patterns and accoutrements, so I really need to clean this out. But I will show you what I stitched that I kept in this bag. The first thing came from, this is the February 2018 Just Cross Stitch, and it's this little Christmas log carrier ornament. Put little cinnamon sticks in there. This is stitched on 18 count Aida, and I did use the called for DMC. And I did stitch it, but I didn't finish anything. So just a little bit of stitching. It's not much. But it was easy to do at lunch, so that was good. Gotta cut it down. It's a piece of 18 count. So there's that one. This next one, I believe, came in the Kitten Stitcher Advent box. What year was that? Was that in 2020? I can't remember. But this is the Noel tag. Is this by... Who's this by? I want to say it's the Bee Company, but I don't know if that's correct. I could be fibbing to you. I don't know. But it looked like this. And this came with the white board and the lace and the little buttons. And you stitch this over one on a 25 count. Let's see, here's the little board. And like a dotted line so you can make a pattern to cut that out. So I stitched this on a piece of 28 count. I think it's antique white Monaco, using the called for DMC, and that turned out cuter than I thought it was going to. And I'm glad to have that out of my what pile, or my kitted pile. Little buttons on there, pretty cute, little mushrooms. So that should be pretty quick to finish up whenever the mood strikes. In my last video, I shared that I designed a little ornament for a gift exchange, or like a white elephant exchange I was in, and I wanted one for myself. And so this is also on a little piece of Barb's blend, 36 count, so I stitched one for myself with my little town name, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. These next two came from the book Bah Humbug. This is a Sue Hillis Designs book, which looks like this. And I stitched this stocking and this little hat. I did not realize that this guy, he's called Hangover Santa. I thought he was just sick, but no, apparently he's hungover. These were fun. This is a different style than what I normally do, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. I did cut out the borders and the Bah Humbugs. And I have just popped these in two little frames. These are two other little frames I also got from Michael's that I painted and distressed a little bit, and I popped them in there to see if they would fit, and they do, but I need to like affix them properly. So here is that little hat. Did I say called for DMC? I'm not sure. And this was a 32 count. You can see the back is just literally popped in there. 32 count even weave that this was a scrap from the Martha Agnes sewing roll that I did. So there's that one. And a little stocking. I love these in these little frames. I just sanded them down a little bit. I did a coat of cream, a coat of like a darker red, and then a black acrylic paint on top, and kind of sanded it down to age it a little bit, and I love them. So I need to fix those properly, and they'll be ready for next year. The next little ornament that I did was called the Yule Bat. This is by Broomsticks and Bobbins on Etsy. And there are two versions of this pattern. There is the dark version, which you stitch on black, and there's another one that's a lighter version for if you want to do it on a lighter color. But I did stitch this on black. I stitched it on an 18 count black Aida using the called for DMC. Oops. Let's see. And there it is. How sweet is that? It didn't take very long at all, and it's really cute. So another cute little wintry ornament to make. I have so much finishing to do. We'll talk about that in a little bit, if I remember. Here's my little Yule Bat. All right, something a little different. I, like many people, have been a big fan of the Fourth Wing books. And it's been a long time since I have been reading a series that I like this that I am really into, and I'm really enjoying that. And wolf_down_the_rabbit hole on Instagram, who is Jen Oldham, made a Fourth Wing pattern, and this was fun. It was just like low stakes stitching, like whatever. So I stitched this on a piece, I think it's all called for to be in black 310. I stitched this on a piece of, I think 28 count, some like mystery linen out of my stash, using colors that I found appropriate for, kind of went with the story. And it says, a dragon without its rider is a tragedy, a rider without their dragon is dead. So yeah. That was just fun. I don't know what I'll do with this, but in a very stressful time of the month, this was exactly what my brain needed. Something light and fun, and I put some Kreinik in there and some blending filament in with my dragon, and that was just an easy, fun little stitch. So did that. This next pattern that I worked on, I asked everybody for their opinions on, was the last video or the one before, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, and a lot of people had a lot of really good suggestions, and so I decided to keep going with it. And that pattern is by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's called Poe the Raven. This came in a Poe box. And I'm glad that I did. So I did want to make sure that I touched it before the year was over. I want to make sure that I'm touching all of my whips every year. You can see, oh wait, there's coffee stain there. Oops. So I did work on this. I'm stitching it on a piece of Dark Spell 30 count linen using some black silk. I definitely remember saying when I talked about this last that I did not need all of this in my project bag, and I was going to remedy that, and I did in fact lie to you. I'm sorry. So some black silk. It's in this cute little project bag, and I am stitching this 1/1. I do have a few, oops, hanging threads. That's okay. So here's the project, and here's what I was working on. I worked on filling in that tombstone. So got a little bit of progress. A lot of people suggested just framing it big or making it into a shadow box or other things, and I just really feel like if I tried to pick this out, I would end up ruining the linen. I ruin linen trying to pick out over 2, so I can't imagine over 1 will go very well. So I'm gonna keep working on that, and I feel good about it now. The next thing I picked up was something that I have not worked on in a while. I have a lot of baskets everywhere, and up in my stitching room I have one that's like kind of like a rotating whip basket, where if there's something, like if I just need to grab something, or you know, I can be a little impulsive in my room, so sometimes having whips up there will help me to not just impulsively start things. And I've got one for things that I'm thinking about starting, and you know, there's a whole thing. But this one was sticking out, like, please work on me, and that was from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy's September Quaker. So this one was partially finished, and I just needed to suck it up and do it. It took like 2 days to finish it, so you know, it happens. So that is the pattern. It was in this Maryland bag that I made, and each of these call for 3 colors, and I am just picking 3 colors from my stash as I go. They're being stitched on 22 count, a 22 count Aida, and here and this is September. I will say this darker purple color, I use Sulky, and I would not necessarily recommend using Sulky on 22 count. It was a little thick, but I committed, so I went with it. So that means we are almost done with this project. So here is January, February, and March. April, May, June, July, August, and September. So just 3 more. My hope is when they're all done to eventually make flat folds out of each of them to put out each month, maybe at work. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I have a lot of finishing to do. All right, so the next thing that I have to share with you is the other thing that I knew for certain I was going to be starting in December, and that is Birds of a Feather. This is the winter pattern. There are 4 seasonal girls, and I knew I wanted to start this on the 21st. The 21st was my mom's birthday, and I did. So right before, like the week prior to Christmas, somebody at work decided to come in with an eye infection, and I unfortunately got that eye infection, and it was really evident that that had happened on the 21st. By the evening of the 21st, I was very swollen. It was a whole thing. I'm not going to get into it. I was on antibiotics for a week, and it was just it was a lot. So I did not get to work on this as much as I thought I was going to. I was like, oh, I've got, you know, my whole break basically. But I've only got to work on it 3 times maybe. So I put in a few stitches up here on that first day, and I've just poked at it a little bit. I'm stitching this with my friend Rebecca, and she is stitching it over 1, and she sent me a picture. She started with the girls' face here, and it's looking amazing already. I believe she's using mostly the called for colors. I chose things from my own stash. So this lives in this beautiful bag here. The other girls are in there too, and I'm stitching them on 38 count Cloister Cream, and I picked colors all from my stash. So there's a bunch of colors here, which it didn't say anything on the back of this one, and that's my conversion there. And so, but I think it was, I was looking at the spring, and it was like, oh, you'll need 4 skeins of this and so many skeins of that, and I don't have that, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I only got a little, kind of a little start on her, but I am loving her already. I think she is going to be really, really cool. The chart is small, but manageable. I made a working copy, and I'm just kind of highlighting as I go. The white, truthfully, does not show up great. I tried several different whites. I don't know if you can see down here. You can see the back. I did lots of test stitching to make sure I liked all the colors before I got started here. So I did end up going with the Sulky white, which is typically my favorite white, and that's a little bit. I'm gonna work on her later tonight, which is why she's still in the Q-snap. But just for reference, this project is big. This project is 295 by 384. So she's big. So this is not, I mean, this is the size of my hand, basically, right here. And that is truly just this. It's not even that. So she's big, but that's okay. I hope to start each of these seasonal ladies at the solstice/equinox this year. So she's coming along. And the last bit of stitching that I have that I worked on in December was something that I just picked up the other night. I needed something quick and small. So this comes from the Merry Halloween book. This is from Stacy Nash Primitives. I believe this was just re-released as regular patterns. I've stitched the old black boot, and this time I did the Read Your Doom pin keep. It says, "Come mortal man and cast an eye, come read your doom, prepare to die," which she says she got the saying from a tombstone that she saw. So anyways, I stitched this with the called for DMC on a piece of 32 count something. I think this was something I overdyed. And here's my little finish. It's just 3 colors of DMC. This was nice and easy. I finished it up last night. I don't know. I've got everything to stitch the other 2 that are in there, so I'll just keep plugging along at them. Whoops. Oh, there you go. All right, that's everything that I stitched on in the month of December, and then I'm going to reach real quick. Actually, hang on one second. Okay, it was a little too far away, so I had to grab the little bit of haul that I had. So let's see what came in the mail. My Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month Club. This was Sugar Cookie in 36 count, which you can't see anything, but it is very beautiful. Of course, you know I love her fabric. I did go ahead and purchase the Modern Folk Embroidery No Time Like the Present sale for 2024. This is stunning. I've stitched a Modern Folk Embroidery before, but never one of the big stitch alongs. So I am anxious to start this. And I hemmed and hawed quite a bit over my color choices. I had several different ideas, but ultimately I kept coming back to this little mock-up down here. The like kind of chocolatey brown with the light olivey green. And so I think that is what I'm going to do approximately. I pulled just a pretty piece of platinum, 36 count platinum, and I'm trying to decide what that's just coming out. I just cut off the back. These are just test stitches. So if I'm going to go with the more brown or the more gray. So I decided for my green I'm going to do 370. And then I'm either going to do 3031 or 3021 for the darker color. And I really like them both, so I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the morning when I start this what happens. I don't expect to be able to keep up with that every month, but we'll see. I'm excited to work on it either way. All right, the only other things that I have here to share are from the Stitching Post in Catonsville, Maryland. Like I said, I went with my friend Suzanne. We made a little trip out there. And I had to make a trip because it had been over a year, I guess, since the last time I was there. And the last time I was there, I bought the November Quaker. And they had to order it for me, and I bought it and I paid for it, and I think I've even said before, I'm sure I've had that pattern somewhere Well, it wasn't here, it was at the stitching post, and I got a call from them. It was actually on my birthday, and they said, hey, they left a voicemail, and I was like, hey, you ordered this pattern and it's been here for over a year, are you gonna come and get it? Like, they were very, very nice, obviously, but so I did need to go and get it, but that's a pretty good reason to make a trip to your LNS, right? So I got the November Quaker, and then I got, like I said, the flosses for that blackbird ornament. This was the rhubarb, the pink. I got this pattern. This was the only pattern that I knew I wanted to get while I was there, and that is At Home by Brenda Gervais. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I haven't made any decisions about any of it yet, but I do love it. So I'll be excited to start that one day. I picked up some wools for another project that I was thinking about using them for, but I ultimately decided to go with DMC. But we'll see. I'm still marinating on something with these. And then I also got some perforated paper that I needed, just some 18 count. Ooh, you can see my 18 count perforated paper, and I did tea dye some of it. I used the 911 Stitchers tutorial for tea dyeing, which was very easy to do and definitely gave me the effect that I was looking for, so happy with that. All right, I think that's everything that I have for this update. I hope everybody, like I said, had a great December and is looking forward to a very happy and healthy and prosperous new year. I love New Year's. I'm not like a resolution person, but I love the planning and I love the feeling of a fresh start, and I just love all of it. So all right, with that, I'm gonna leave you and I'm gonna go and set up for my whip parade. All right, bye guys, love you.